Guys who like being entertained, okay? Because all I'm doing today is fixing an old pair of boots. Now, why might you ask would I do that? I've watched enough videos doing it that I feel like I could almost do a full resole, but I'm not gonna do a full resole. What I am gonna do is, these are some old beat up boots with a welt around the top, it's all worn off. So I'm just gonna sew it up. Honestly, I'm doing it just because I kind of want to do it for fun. I worked with leather my whole life. I've had kind of a stressful couple of weeks. And so, working with some leather is going to make my little soul happy inside. So let me get my workspace organized here. All right, here we go. What's going on today, people? I'm gonna do a running 2-needle stitch style. It's good enough for this application. A lot of different ways. I don't proclaim to be any gifted leather worker, you know. It is not my primary craft, but I've been around it a couple times. I've been around enough to know, been around horses and saddles and horseshoeing and bridles and boots to kind of know what I like out of any boots that I have. And I thought it would be fun to repair these. I brought them over to my boot guy, and he's out with COVID. I hope he makes it. So, what we're gonna do here is got this old ratty. So what I've done so far is I stripped and deglazed the boots, stripped and deglazed the leather, and then, you know, this is a labor of love. I would never do this for money. And honestly, I mean, there's no need to do this, but I just kind of wanted to do it for fun. I can get uppers pretty restored. These are starting to delaminate a little bit around the edge right here. They're gonna need a new sole soon. And that's a whole different animal. And I don't have a welt stitcher here, or I'd probably take a crack at it. Nothing too high tech about this, but I'm gonna put a little ankle welt here instead of this canvas material. I'm gonna put I got some nice black glove leather, some chromium tanned glove leather, and it's kind of back stitch rolled over and then stitched from the inside. Like I said, I've already deglazed these boots. I've got the stain. I've got a satin sheen to put on them afterwards. And I'm just gonna start kind of chugging along at this. A lot of ways to do this. And I know if I had a boot shop, I'd do this differently than I'm getting ready to do. But I don't have one, so I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way, and I'm gonna hand sew them. It'll look nice. Just threading this needle here. Yeah, it'll look really nice. So I'm gonna pull this through. See if I get my head wrapped around this. I may need a thimble. I'm gonna try and stitch it in the old holes. Why on earth would one do it that way, right? And the reason why, I'm gonna grab some pliers here. Let me go get some pliers. I haven't done this in a little while. and see if this is gonna work. All right. Let's see if I can make this work. Nice soft leather. Hardest part is getting everything started and having it all be lined up. Once you've got that part, the rest is kind of easy. Just follow a little pattern. Don't get impatient. Not really set up to show you guys how to do hand stitching. All right, so we got our first piece, and then from here, I'm gonna get my piece of thread kind of evened out. And then I'm gonna go back through the leather. Right into the old hole. Now I'm just doing an end stitch here to hold this in place. So it's a little funny, but I'm gonna stitch around the end here and kind of pull this in tight. It's not a normal stitch. This is just to lock in the end. And all I need to do right now is get this just about even. And then I go back down through the hole that I just came up right next to it. And I may actually pause you guys and go get my hand stitcher, because that might actually work better than this. Guys been having fun watching Joe Biden do his thing? Wow. Wow. All I can say is wow. All I can say is wow. If you're not embarrassed, you're kind of as you drool at this point. There we go. As soon as you get these first piece locked in, this will just go, actually it'll go pretty smoothly. All right, so. If you do this all the time, you'd be done already. Then we're going to put this thread through here. All right. That's getting it started. And now I got to pull the stitch from both sides. And I try to get it kind of in the middle of the leather. All right, we'll go to our second stitch. So there's one stitch. Nice. The big thing about this, if you're doing leather work, is don't get yourself in a big damn hurry. Because frankly, there ain't nothing efficient about it. It's just, for me, it's a little meditation. And I'll work myself over to the next hole. Oh yeah. Pull that tight. Go right back down through. I know some of you are professional people and leather people maybe, and you're going, what the hell is he doing? I'm gonna sit here and fix this boot, make a little loop, and run the thread through the loop, pull the thread down, tighten that up. So I haven't stitched on a boot ever in my whole life. I'm going to run through, get this done. I'm just going to use some of my old sheath making leather experience. Drive it right back down. Again, not a way to make a living, but when these boots are done, it'll be kind of cool. All right, now we'll get to running here. My grandfather used to sit around and do this. I remember he always had a couple of different needles, and you find that when you take old stuff that's kind of worn out, a lot of people throw it away. And I went to look for my guy today, and he's out with COVID. So, I figured, well, all right, I'll take a little time and maybe make it a little bit of a Christmas present that I'm fixing these boots up. But mostly I'm doing it for myself. I like working on leather, and I like making old stuff look new. It's the YouTube videos that I fall into are guys of, there's this guy who takes like old World War I instruments out of battlefields that are all mangled up, and he completely repairs them. I find that fascinating. If I stumble across his videos, I can't stop watching. It's fun to take stuff and kind of fix it up. I started doing that with knives when I was a kid. I had an old Buck 110 that was all rusted up, and I drilled it apart and cleaned the whole thing up, put it back together, and got brass rod, peened over the ends, and it was super satisfying to have this old. I had a flapper wheel that I cleaned the blade up with, and then I sharpened it by hand. I was about 10 or 12 years old, and it's probably one of those things that got me in the knife business, just fixing stuff up, tinkering on making things right. So I'm gonna fix this old pair of boots up. You guys have seen the kind of rough before. I will, they're pretty rough. I will show you guys when I finish restoring the uppers what it looks like. Maybe a couple of you will check back in. All right, I'll see you around campus, kids.